Bears beats Battlestar Galactica.
Stay on target.
You can't handle the truth.
Stay on target.
It's over 9,000! What, 9,000?
With great power comes great responsibility.
There's only one God, man. And I'm pretty sure he doesn't dress like that.
You know what, Jake?
What?
You shall not pass Christmas season without talking about Lord of the Rings. What's up, baby? Welcome to Pop Culture Redemption. I am so excited to sip on my coffee and talk about the Lord of the Rings. We're about to run through our first trilogy.
We are. We're about to run through our first, multiple movies in a series.
And it is such an upset for Pop Culture Redemption that we're talking about Lord of the Rings trilogy before Star Wars trilogy.
Even though it was my idea.
It was your idea.
It was my idea.
It was your idea. From Jesus. Right?
I guess. It must be. I don't know.
We were planning, I don't know how many months ago we planned in advance for our content. Maybe like a month and a half ago.
Something like that.
And Jake was like, I feel like we should do Lord of the Rings. We really need to do it.
Oh, I know what it was.
Christmas.
It was right whenever Priscilla and I were setting out our fall decorations. So this is
October.
Beginning of October.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we were like, sounds great. Why? And Jake was like, well,
I don't remember.
he was like, there's a reason.
Listen.
But I don't remember.
All right, let me give you behind the scenes. So I'm going to say every year, but really it's just been the last 2 years. Priscilla and I have let me back up. I've started a new tradition where every time Priscilla starts setting out the fall decorations, I do not participate and just watch Fellowship of the Ring instead. Mm-hmm. And while I was watching and Priscilla was kind of watching, I had this deep theological thought pop into my brain as to why we needed to do the Lord of the Rings trilogy in and around Christmas Eve and the New Year. It was deep. It was specific, and I couldn't remember it. I was even hoping that while I was talking that the idea would come back to me, but no, it's just gone.
All will be revealed.
There is something deeply specific about doing it for our first series, for doing either we ended up just having to pick what weeks we were doing it on, but I couldn't remember if we were doing Return of the King to end on Christmas Eve or New Year's, or I don't know. There is a specific reason, and I went back and I watched all 12, 15 hours worth of the extended editions trying to remember it, and just gone. Just gone.
We'll see if it comes back.
It probably won't.
That's exciting. So we're talking about Fellowship of the Ring today, which I heard from you. There's an anniversary about Fellowship of the Ring.
Oh, yeah.
Around the time when this comes out.
There is. And
Wasn't it the 25-year anniversary of the movie?
Yeah. Either, and I'm fumbling on the
day
date.
after.
Yeah.
Did you say the 19th?
Yes.
I think, and this comes out on the 18th?
Listen, I think so, but then it popped up on my time hop on the 9th that Fellowship of the Ring was premiered on that day. So now I just don't know.
It's around 25 years.
Yeah, but this is Fellowship of the Ring's 25th anniversary year.
Wow.
Yeah.
So maybe there's a reason. I don't know if it's deep theological reason, but
that was not the reason.
It's a reason.
I have no idea. Sure.
So I'm excited to talk about it. I've read the books more recently.
I am currently reading the book.
For the first time. I had never read them until I started reading them. I think I started 3 years ago. I read Fellowship, and then I got halfway through Two Towers and then stopped for a while. And then started again, and then got halfway through.
Why'd you stop there?
We'll save that for the Two Towers. We'll save that for the Two Towers recording. And so it's really interesting to watch the movies and then read the books and then watch the movies again, and to see, that's in there. Oh, that's not in there. And the extended version, it pretty much is all in there except Tom Bombadil.
Ugh.
So
why?
Bombadil didn't make the cut, but
listen, they at least put him in Rings of Power. They apologized.
That was a good. What do they call that? Fan service.
You know
what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm. Crowd pleaser.
Excellent.
You're welcome.
Excellent. And we've had the "You Shall Not Pass" in the opening sequence since the beginning. So
since the very beginning,
it's about time.
83 3
It's
episodes.
About time we got here.
Wait, hold on a second. Why is there not a single Star Wars quote in the opening sequence?
There is. Stay on target.
Oh yeah, never mind.
Stay on target. Stay on target.
You mean the one that's most applicable to my life?
You know, there might have been a reason I put it in there.
I've never felt so called out in my life.
Focus. A spoon. So,
But there is no spoon. We talked about that in the Matrix episode.
dang. Hashtag deep. All right, I'm drinking today from Scooters again. Your boy got Scooters. I'm drinking. I'm drinking. There's no alcohol in here, I promise. I'm drinking a sugar cookie latte. And it's good. Today, I got decaf. So, is it even coffee at that point? I don't know.
No.
You can
It's
let me
just
know.
sugar.
And I got large.
Decaf is for quitters.
Well,
Unless you have a problem with caffeine, then decaf is for you.
Your boy's a quitter then. What are you drinking?
The latte?
Just a latte, straight up?
I mean, I put some sugar-free pumpkin pie in it.
Ah, nice. That's exciting.
That's about it.
So-
Not much.
I was telling Jake, for those of you watching, I have an elf cup again because,
It's Lord of the Rings adjacent.
but yes, I said, he's like, that's not Lord of the Rings. And I was like, but isn't it? Look at the elf. We won't turn it around to see Buddy the elf, but there is elf. So he's a woodland elf.
He's a woodland.
He's a woodland elf.
I don't know. I feel like most of the woodland elves are pretty emotionless.
I know, but they kind of wear green.
Yeah.
So that's where I was going with that.
He's
He's
probably
not
kicked-
Legolas, I'll
He
tell
was
you
probably
that.
kicked out of the woodland elves.
He might have been
Lothlorien. He's probably kicked out for being too energetic,
too energetic.
too happy.
They're like, bye. So yeah, give him another.
They couldn't vibe with Galadriel.
Give him another like living for 2,500 years.
Yeah.
They'll get there.
He kept messing with Galadriel's creepy vibe.
She's not that creepy in the books. You did that on purpose.
Yep.
You did that on purpose.
You're welcome.
So I watched the movies and then I watched Parks and Rec. And those of you who know Parks and Rec, you're going to understand where this is going. But Ben Wyatt, a character in Parks and Rec, is a giant nerd. And I don't remember what episode was it the Treat Yourself episode or something else? Where Tom Haverford is, I think it's Tom. Anyways, he makes a comment about Ben needs to just go watch like Lord of the Rings because he's such a nerd. And Ben's like, well, actually, I wasn't a big fan of Peter Jackson's interpretation. And I remember seeing that after I'd seen the movies before I read the books. And I was like, oh, shots fired. And then I watched the movie and the movies are great. I still think it's great. But how they did Lady Galadriel, I was like, I would agree. Yeah. I wasn't a big fan of that interpretation.
For those of you
For the theaters.
For those of us that have not gotten to that part of the book or don't plan on reading the book,
Yeah.
give us a peek behind the curtain then. What's Galadriel actually like?
Well, in the
Is she
books,
more like
they-
the Rings of Power?
No, not that fierce,
Okay.
but more like her beauty and charm and just like energy. All of them love her. Like everyone is like, she is the
so
best.
everyone's acting like
That's
Gimli.
why Gimli is like, just give me a lock of your hair because, you know,
Strand.
that's
He
the
got
greatest.
3.
He got 3.
He got 3.
That's their attitude for everyone. And so to like in the movies when they're showing her being like kind of creepy and a little like chaotic, like neutral, chaotic, evil, chaotic, neutral, how they portray her with the music and just the vibe, you go,
Yeah.
that's not what the book said. So anyways, and then on Tom, we're burying the lead here, but you triggered me at the start of the episode. So
Yep.
thank you for letting me get that out of my system.
I'm glad. I'm glad
All
I
right.
could help.
Let's talk about Jesus. What a smooth transition that was.
Maybe you should have had caffeine.
Maybe I should have. But I think there's a ton to talk about in Lord of the Rings and faith. Tolkien, well known that he's Christian. You see Christian themes throughout this book. If you've ever looked at the friendship of Tolkien and C.S. Lewis,
Oh, it's hilarious.
it's really interesting to see how Tolkien played a really instrumental role in C.S. Lewis's conversion story.
Oh, I actually didn't know that.
Yep. And so, of course, as we dive into this, probably what's Tolkien called like the grandfather of fantasy fiction.
Oh, I'd believe it.
I don't know how, like science fantasy, but it's not really science. It's just fantasy.
It's just called fantasy.
Yeah. Or I guess just fantasy in general.
Yeah,
all fantasy is fiction. Maybe?
Yes, all fantasy is fiction. That's what fantasy
My
means.
wonder is just wonder switch is turned on right now. I'm sorry, I'm questioning everything. So in Fellowship specifically, we'll try to just keep it to Fellowship since we're doing all 3 movies. We'll try not to fast forward too much. There's, for me, I really want to talk about Frodo specifically. I feel like this conversation for me will be circled around Frodo, because I see in Frodo throughout this movie the spiritual journey.
Ooh, say more.
The call, the purpose, the design in Frodo's life, where he is uniquely positioned and capable of and qualified for this terrible thing he has to do. It's a good thing, but it's terrible. It's like a lot of suffering and a lot of things that he doesn't want to do, but he feels called to do. You see this wrestling. He inherits the ring. He no control in that aspect. He didn't choose to inherit this ring of power. It was just thrust upon him. He bears it to Rivendell, the elf headquarters, or not. I don't know how headquarters is the right word, but
it's just a
the elf place. City. One of the best places in all of fiction. If I got to go anywhere in any fiction, I think it would probably be my first choice.
Oh, not Mordor?
Definitely not that. No, definitely not that.
That's fair, because one cannot simply walk into Mordor.
One does not simply walk into Mordor. So he bears the ring to Rivendell. Is that what that's called? Why am I questioning why that's called that?
It's Rivendell.
Rivendell, not Dale.
No, Dell.
D-E-L-L. See, that's why. I'm mixing Frozen and the Frozen. What's that place called?
Okay, we are getting off topic. Keep going. Dang it, now I don't know. I think no caffeine was the right.
Do you want me to cut this?
No, it's fine.
Keep going?
Just keep going.
Oh, gosh. Hold on, let me get some coffee. Good luck, future Jake. We're all counting on you.
I don't know which is worse, whenever I'm on the podcast or not on the podcast.
So he bears the ring to Rivendell. He gets it there, and he thinks, all right, I'm done. And he almost dies in the process.
That's fair.
You know?
Yeah.
Very near death experience.
Yeah.
And then they're at the council, and it becomes apparent what they must do with the ring. And it becomes apparent to him that no one else is going to be able to do what only he can do, which is to bear the ring. Because it seems like, and this is the case, that at least all the other non-hobbits have too much selfish ambition, or
there's too
need
much
for power, or something is corruptible about them that the ring can and will eventually corrupt each one of them. And he can see it in the circle. Okay. So he realizes he's uniquely, as we talk about faith, created.
Yeah.
He is uniquely created to be able to do this task, and he is the only one that is able to do it. And he is willing to do it.
Yeah.
Because ultimately he says, I'll do it. I'll do it, even though he doesn't want to. But he chooses to. Even though he didn't choose to, but he chooses to. And I was like, spiritual journey, right there. Calling of God. We are uniquely qualified to do what he's asking us to do and what we're called to do. And oftentimes the calling is beyond what we feel like we're able to do. For Frodo, if you would have told him all the things that he has to do on his quest to take the ring to a giant volcano, if you would have told him that in the Shire, he would probably said, I can't do any of that.
He did. He did say that. He tried giving the ring to Gandalf. He's like,
Yeah, but he
this.
didn't say that because he knew what was coming.
Oh, I mean, he didn't know exactly the details of it, but Gandalf wasn't exactly shy about, hey, this is the one ring owned and made by the Dark Lord Sauron, and he's coming to kill you.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, no, you take it. I don't want it.
Yeah.
Sorry, I got off track. But that's part of what I'm saying here too is like, God, we are called beyond what we think we are capable of, but also maybe even what we want, for a deeper desire, for something better that we didn't actually realize what was inside of us. Because the one thing, like as you're saying, like Frodo wasn't as corruptible as the others, is because he didn't want to be there. Maybe like, even to an extent, because he actually had something that he loved and cared for over his fear. He just wanted to go back home. He loved something simple in his life. Being in Bag End. Growing whatever the heck he did. They grew back there. Going to the... Tolkien's British. They'd probably call it a pub. Just living a simple and joyful life. Versus everybody else who had the fear inside of them already. Like, that's what, at least when I watched it this time around, it's like, that's what uniquely called him to me. It was he had less to be afraid of. Maybe, well, not less to be afraid of, but he didn't answer to his fear as much as the others.
He's a reluctant, we'll say leader. He's a leader.
Yeah.
I mean, he gets to decide whether they go into
Also,
Moria, the mines of Moria, or through the pass, right? And he leads them out of Rivendell.
That was one of my favorite moments when he's like, okay, let's go. Which way is it?
Yes. He's like, Gandalf, which way? Left. Okay, thank you. Which, that in itself right there is a spiritual picture.
Ooh, okay.
As we lead people, and who's leading, really? Yeah. Are we leading, or are we just like following God and then communicating to the people that are following us where God is leading us? You know, be like, all right, we're going this way. And it's like, who made that decision? Did I make that decision? Or am I trying to listen to God and God lead that decision, right? I think the humility of that is pretty cool to think about in that scene specifically. If, this Gandalf character, if we think of the metaphor here of him being the Lord, and we have this charge to lead from the Lord, and we're from the beginning walking out, we're going, okay, I'm leading us out here, and which way am I going, God? Left. Okay, thank you. Let's go left, everybody.
Yeah.
Which way am I going, God? Go right. All right, everybody, we're going right. Instead of just relying on our own understanding or lack thereof. Because oftentimes when we're on an adventure and we're going places that God is taking us that are new, which is what an adventure is. We don't really know where we're going. We kind of do, but we don't really know how to get there, and we don't know where that's going to happen along the way. Then we have to be in that constant communication with God to go, okay, which way do I go here? Because I don't know.
Yeah.
I see a lot of Moses in Frodo.
Okay.
Moses' leadership in Frodo. That reluctant leader. The humble leader. I think in one of those books, it says Moses is the most humble person.
Which Moses is the one that wrote those books?
Yep. So, or at least it's attributed to him.
That's like John writing in John's gospel saying that he was the disciple Jesus loved. It's just like, let me just pat
It's
myself
like
on the
no
back
one
here a
is
little bit.
more humble than Moses.
Written by Moses.
Yeah. Which, as you read, it makes sense. As you read the Old Testament, and his humility isn't false. Like, he doesn't think lower of himself than he ought to.
Right.
But he also doesn't think higher of himself than he ought to. And you see over and over again, his posture when he faces crisis is to pray, to fall on his knees and cry out to God. The people of Israel are coming against him with accusations. And what's his reply? He doesn't like defend himself, but he falls on his knees to the Lord and is like, what do you want to do here? Like, am I wrong here? Show these people that I'm just doing what you're asking me to do. And then there's a whole bunch of fun stuff that happens after that, but it happens over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Right. And Frodo makes decisions throughout this movie in Fellowship of the Ring, whether it's to bear the ring or to go into the mines of Moria, or at the end of the movie to separate from the Fellowship and to go his own way by himself on an adventure that he doesn't know, right? How he's going to accomplish anything, but he knows he has to do it. He's making all these decisions for like the good of others and for the responsibility that has been given to him that he kind of chose, but also he didn't choose,
right?
If that makes sense. And
yeah. I think in the humility piece, it was also like, these are just small moments from the movie, but it was also cool to see like Frodo and the rest of the hobbits learning from the rest of the Fellowship. Like, could you imagine in the mines of Moria, what would have happened if none of the, if Frodo's approach to being the leader of the Fellowship was like, okay, I really don't know where to go, but that's it. Like, I got to lead from here. Like, I have to make the decisions and I have to be the one that knows everything. So Aragorn, Boromir, don't teach me anything about sword play. I need to figure this out myself. That wouldn't. First of all, their trip in the mines didn't really go well to begin with. But I feel like a lot worse would have happened.
Yeah.
Or even just the humility of understanding and accepting that other people's ways are different. Being willing to keep going after Aragorn or Strider doesn't want to stop for second breakfast. But it was, and even with, even with the moment of choosing to go through Moria versus over the mountains, of like hearing and understanding both pieces, but also making the decision that he felt they needed to make, like seeing the situation and listening to like, okay, Ganondorf, that's
Link.
Yep. Gandalf. We're just mixing everything here. Like, Gandalf is clearly terrified to go through Moria, but it seems like the only way. Gimli says it's like, Gimli keeps talking about like it's going to be possible. I'm also going to listen to him. Like, there's a humility piece of understanding that the people that you're leading can also teach you something, which is something that I had to learn really early on. And okay, not early on. It's probably a couple years after I probably should have learned it. But okay, that's whatever. But a couple years into ministry of learning that like, hey, just because I'm leading these volunteers doesn't mean I have to be the one that has the answers. Because trying to be the guy that had all the answers was killing me.
Yeah,
it was destroying my mental life. I still remember when I was in Kansas City, right when COVID locked down, I starved myself for several days trying to make something work. When I literally all I had to do was just ask for help because I didn't know how to do what I was trying to do, and I had these excuses in my head of, oh, it's COVID lockdowns, I can't ask for help because it's social distancing. But that was all just like surface level bullcrap. I just kept thinking and telling myself like, I'm the one in charge, I'm the one getting paid to do this, so I have to figure this out. I would have died in Moria, I'm pretty sure. Because at that season of my life, and it lasted for a while. I mean, I even came to Kansas, to McPherson with that attitude of like, I've got to have this all figured out. I've got to have all the details. I'm the one being paid to do this. Like, I wouldn't have accepted, like, don't teach me how to use my sword. I got to figure it out myself.
Yeah.
So there's a level to the Christian walk and the spiritual journey of accepting what other people bring into your life along the way. Even understanding, okay, no, that's getting ahead of ourselves, but understanding like the role that Schmeagol and Gollum plays. Like, okay, I understand that you are not the healthiest part of my life right now, but I'm willing to accept and hear what you have to say. I'm willing to let you lead me, even though, because I do not know where I'm going and we're just walking around in circles. Yeah.
Which comes a little bit in Two Towers, right?
Yeah.
I think there's also a piece of discernment, wisdom, and understanding Who is in your life to... What's the word I'm looking for? Who are people in your life to teach and advise you? And who are in your life that God's going to use to teach and advise you? Do you understand the difference?
No. Can you unpack that a little bit?
Who's in your life to teach you, advise you, shepherd you, counsel you, based on their
Like, who's your Gandalf?
wisdom, their role, their experience, their goodness to you? Okay. Who is in your life that God is going to use to teach you?
Okay,
But
got it.
they're
Yeah,
not going to actually, because it's not a... Like...
It's kind of like, who's your Gandalf?
Sometimes
and who's your Pippin?
who kind of. Sometimes I've learned the best lessons from what I observe other people doing terribly. Just point blank. Like, oftentimes we learn a lot by looking at what other people are doing and going, that's not good. That's not wise. That's not
Yeah,
just.
like you putting on that hat this morning.
This is a great decision. I know what you're talking about. Okay. Listen, the ears flap down, friends. Now, if you're just listening and you're not watching, I don't know how to describe this hat to you, but I'm not going to try to. You can try to look it up, but you can ask me about it if you have my phone number. Just shoot me a text. I'll send you a picture.
And if you don't have his number,
who is in our life that we learn from? Okay. And who is in our life that God teaches us things about wisdom? Not because of them, but perhaps in spite of them. I think that's also a part of it.
Yeah.
Is to walk with God and go, okay, who's in my life right now that maybe isn't the healthiest, most positive influence on me if I was to do what they're asking me to do or telling me to do or wanting me to do or whatever. But that they're in my life for a reason.
Yeah.
Because both of those things can be true.
Well, and both those things are important.
Yes. So to be able, like, I think of Boromir throughout this film. Frodo is learning things from Boromir's presence. Largely, Boromir's presence is not positive for Frodo.
Right.
And for his role of bearing the ring. He is a source of temptation for Frodo. He's a threat as well, which we see at the end of the book / movie. He tries to steal the ring. He attacks Frodo, tries to steal the ring.
Which makes him put on the ring, which he was told never to do.
Right. And it confirms what he must do as well in that moment. He knew, we had the conversation with Galadriel. She's like, hey.
Galadriel the creepy.
Hey, yeah, you know what you have to do. You know they're going to try to take it. Or you know one of them is going to try to take it. Right. And then it happens, confirmed, and it's after that moment that he realizes he must go. So Boromir plays an important role
Right.
in this journey, in this fellowship, in this story. But largely, it's not because of Boromir, it's in spite of him. That Frodo, one, learns about his own, the weight of carrying the ring and the temptation on other people if he's not the one to do it.
Yeah.
Right? Just the ring's presence among them is starting to tear them apart. And he comes to the decision that he must leave. And so maybe that's something we can evaluate with God in our life. Who is... There are some people in our life that we need to create a boundary and separate from.
Right.
Period. And maybe that's the lesson in and of itself. But there are some people in our life that are very difficult or are challenging us or for whatever reason just require a lot of energy out of us.
Yeah, like you.
And
Just kidding.
I bet so sometimes. And God may be inviting us to still engage
Yeah.
in those spaces. Maybe not completely. And not engage in a way where we go, okay, I'm just going to let this person influence my life completely and follow
Right.
what they're telling me to do. But where we go, nope, I'm going to find some healthy differentiation. I'm going to figure out what is good and what's not good. I'm going to learn from this experience, not necessarily because they're such a wise and good teacher for me, but because I'm observing their life, I'm observing the way they're interacting with people and with me, and I'm figuring out how do I engage and love people and love someone who's different than me, or love someone who's hurting or broken or whatever the thing is, in a way, because both of those things can be and often are.
Yeah. Well, and wrestling through those two questions, who's in your life to teach and grow you, and who is in your life that God is going to use to teach and grow you, I feel like is even important when it comes to how we as Christians interact with people in our church, but also people just around us, like people who don't know Jesus. Mm-hmm. Because at least in what I've observed in my own life and my own, but also just in the lives of people around me, I feel like the immediate reaction for a decent amount of people that are that don't wrestle with that question is just, oh, I see something different, shut it down.
Yep.
Like, oh, I see somebody who oh man, they just cursed. Like, I can't, shut it down. Yeah. Like, oh, they said they watched that movie, like, shut it down. They go to that church, they don't sing hymns, they do sing hymns, they wear a collar, they don't wear a collar, like, shut it down. You have nothing to teach me. There is nothing in your life that I want to interact with. But that's not like, you can't have the calling and the giftings of the Holy Spirit without actually using them. It's been something I've been thinking about lately. Like, we can't have, like, there's no difference between sacred and secular. Like, I feel like, at least in the West, we established that whole separation of church and state, and then we just took it to the absolute extreme of saying, okay, this little box in our lives, that's where the holy is. If I read my Bible, if I say my prayers, if I listen to Christian music, if I give to charity, if I do all the things, that part's secular. But going to work, taking care of my body, investing in my relationships, enjoying the good things in the world that God has made. Ooh, that was... that's secular. Mm-hmm. But to actually walk out the calling of Christ is to actually walk out in the world. Mm-hmm. You can't have one without the other. And so when we approach things with the, oh, you're different than me, shut you out, that's not actually living in the calling of Christ. Mm-hmm. But if we start to understand and start to see people as like, okay, you're not good or bad to me. You are a complicated person, just like I am, who has things that I can interact with, things that I can grow and learn from, things that I can learn to appreciate and value, and things that I may need to, like, keep my distance from. Then we will actually start learning to see God in other people a lot easier than we were if we were just shutting them out because of our differences. Yeah. Or shutting them out because, oh, you said this word, or I saw you, like, I heard you listening to this song, or whatever reason we may have. That's where the fear comes in, and we shut down. When we actually wrestle with that whole, like, okay, well, if you're not here to be a good influence on my life, then what may God be what may God be trying to tell me through our interactions? That's how we actually walk out the calling that Jesus gave us. And that's how we do it. Mm-hmm. So, like, that's a good point. It's a good question.
Yeah, and then, like, Boromir has redemption at the end, which is wonderful, because Boromir is not completely evil. And I think that's also a really cool thing that's shown in this movie, that Boromir, like the rest of us, is complicated. Mm-hmm. And some of his desires are not good, and some of them are good.
Yeah.
And that just because he fails in succumbing to the temptation of the power of the ring, right, and justifying that by all the good things he wants to do with it.
Yeah.
And he wants to save his people, and he wants to defeat Sauron. Sauron.
And Saruman.
Yeah, but they don't know at this point that Saruman is bad news.
Yeah, they do.
Do they?
Yeah. That's pretty early on.
Oh, you're right. Because Gandalf does the...
That's why he didn't meet them at the Prancing Pony and Bree.
They do know.
Yeah.
So the Boromir, he fails. He knows he fails. And he doesn't quit at that point. And in fact, chooses in that failure to pursue honor
Yeah.
afterwards. And we could have a conversation about trying to justify our scale, our like do good, do bad scale, that
Right.
we like to
Make up for
think in our brain,
mistakes.
right? We could have that conversation, but I'd rather pivot it towards he saves, or at least tries to save, Merry and Pippin, and valiantly fights off many orcs, right? And ultimately calls Aragorn and Legolas and Gimli to him as he dies fighting.
Dude, spoilers.
Well, I mean, it's at the end of Fellowship. And I don't know if he reclaims, but he claims and makes his final stand on, this is who I am. Mm-hmm. I fight against evil. I am, for good. I am, that relationship between him and Aragorn is restored at the end.
Yeah.
Because no longer is he resisting Aragorn's
Yeah, it's almost
kingship.
like he's accepting him as the king. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And in that, he also restores his own honor because he realizes it's so interesting. Early in the movie, he talks about, he's like, my father is the steward of Gondor for the king. And then the king is sitting in front of him and he goes, you're no king of mine. And I'm like,
that'll preach.
do you know what steward means?
We don't ever do that.
You're stewarding the kingdom. It's not yours. You're doing it you were put in charge for the king that is to come, and the king that is to come is sitting right in front of you, and you will not accept his
no spiritual implications.
rule, leadership, and reign. But at the end, he does.
Yeah.
Right? At the end, he does. And that's also a beautiful moment. Not only does he die protecting the hobbits and trying to save them and fighting against evil and resisting the evil, but he also accepts his place within the kingdom, and that's not a humiliating submission, but is one that brings honor, glory, and restoration to him and to Aragorn, right? And you have this beautiful moment that they share before he passes on to the next. And so just recognizing that, yes, we do things that are not good. Surprise!
Wait, what?
Surprise! Right. There's always an opportunity for restoration.
Yeah. Well, and marking the difference between, like you said, and we don't need to go super far into this, but the difference between trying to make up for your mistakes or following after what Paul says in Philippians, which is I've not achieved perfection, but I focus on this one thing. I press on. I focus on what's ahead. I forget what is past, and I press on for what's ahead to reach the prize through which God has called us heavenward through Christ Jesus. Yeah. Like, you get knocked down? Cool. Get back up and keep doing what you know you're called to do. And that's exactly what we saw.
Yeah. I think it's interesting to look at Aragorn in his process of working through the shame of his family that he's carrying.
Yeah.
Throughout this movie, it continues, but in coming to accept his role in all of this.
Yeah.
Because he moves from... He's introduced, and obviously the book has way more room for this, but he's introduced as Strider. You don't know who he is, and that's revealed in Rivendell, I think, in the books.
Yeah, I think so.
I think that's how it is in the movie too. But like, this is Legolas, like, you don't know who this is. You can't say that. And he has the honor of a king. He has the leadership, and he has the weight, and he has the authority.
Yeah.
You just see it. You see it in him, and you see it in him through the books. What he is wrestling through is he worthy of it? Based on, at least this is my interpretation, is he worthy of it based on the failings of his lineage, or his, what do they call that? Lineage is after
line.
you, or is it before you as well? How does that work? His father and his father and his father.
Right.
And your family and your children.
Stop it.
And their children. Okay.
Stay on target.
So he's wrestling with that shame because they're in this problem because many generations before him.
Many. In like 3,000 years.
Yes. Is it Isildur? Is that how you say his name?
Isildur.
Isildur did not destroy the ring. And now
It's back.
they're here.
Back again.
Okay. So he's also wrestling with all of that.
Yeah.
And I wonder how many of us also wrestle with all of that.
Well, I find it like now that you're saying that, I think I noticed this when we were watching the movie the other day, but it's fascinating how, like, if you want to juxtapose, which I'm just really proud of myself that I was able to use that word correctly, juxtapose Aragorn and Boromir, is that both of them were wrestling with family shame.
Mm-hmm.
Aragorn was never tempted to take the ring.
Yeah.
Like what?
Or at least he was tempted, but he chose not to.
Right. He was able to choose not
Yes.
to. Every
He had the
single
honor in the
time.
character.
Yeah,
Yeah.
every single time.
To not just snatch it out of this
Yeah.
weak hobbit's. Yes.
And to continue to like, no, this is not why we're here.
Yes.
I cannot take this. This is your burden to bear. He like that scene at the very end, whenever like when Frodo's just freaked out of his mind and Aragorn comes in and he's so terrified that Aragorn's also now tempted to take the ring, and he just stares at it and he walks up closely and he closes his hand over the ring and says, "I would have followed you to the end." Like he doesn't. There's you could see the wrestling in his face, but the choice seemed easy to him. Mm-hmm. What's the difference between his response and Boromir's response? Because they both dealt with family ties. Mm-hmm. Obviously, Aragorn's is a lot deeper. We actually don't really know anything about his immediate family. So we don't know if maybe he had a great relationship with his actual dad. We don't know. All we know is he's still bearing the burden of his family. I think lineage is right. His family lineage. Mm-hmm. But Boromir is more like immediate. Dude, his dad straight up sucks. Like off the dome, what do you see as the difference between the two?
I think Aragorn operates with character and integrity and honor as the highest priority, whereas Boromir sees victory at any means necessary as the highest priority. Because that's the, when we look at the wisdom of the Old Testament scriptures and talking about who is wise and who is not, the wise person doesn't see character and morality as secondary to outcomes, but it sees it as utmost priority. And I don't think Boromir saw that as utmost priority. Character, honor, integrity. It was about success or failure for Boromir. And Aragorn operated with, throughout the books and in this movie, he operates as a honorable king. Like he really does. And so as you read the books, as you watch the movie, you go, yeah, I'd follow that dude forever. Because he doesn't have the position of king, but he's a king. You could just see it. And that's what is, to me, that's what's different between him and Boromir. Is you look at Boromir, he does not act like a king.
Even though he is the heir.
Heir who, Boromir?
Yeah, heir to stewardship.
Yes. Right. And later on, you'll find out that the steward does not act like a king either. Because one, because he's not a king, but two, he doesn't have the
if he was written
characteristics.
in the book of the Kings or the Chronicles, it would say that, what was his name?
Boromir?
No, his dad. I don't remember. But what's his face did not act in
That's
pleasing
right.
the way it's pleasing to the Lord.
That's right. That's right. That's right. And you just see I just come back to the word honor over and over again. I just see it. In Aragorn, you feel it.
Yeah.
And you know it. And you don't see that with Boromir.
Dude, it's almost like Aragorn was acting through honor and character. Boromir was trying to earn it.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you find this out later, but Boromir is just trying to finally prove himself in a way that will make his dad happy.
Yeah.
Well, his dad's already pretty pleased with him, but like,
Right.
he's even standing up for his brother.
Yes.
He's just trying to make sure that he is seen as himself and he is seen as valued, and he's trying to earn that right to act with honor, to act with courage. And you see it at the very end where he's just, I failed harder than I could ever fail. I can't go back. I just need to do what's right.
And it might be he's operating with a different definition of honor. And that very well may be, because we have definitions of honor in society. What is honorable, what's not. And some of them are true. Some of them are not.
It's fair.
Right?
It's very fair.
Like, to be the strongest is in like physical strength.
Yeah.
That is honorable. And it's like, I mean, it's not dishonorable, but it doesn't really, that actually is not the definition of honor. God didn't choose David's older brothers to be king. He chose David. Because first Saul was chosen.
And he was very fair.
And he was the strongest.
He's strong,
and he was the
he's tall,
tallest.
he's
He
good
looked
looking.
like it. He looked like a king. So they said, of course this guy's going to be king. He looks like a king. Right? But what happened? His character did not live up to what it needed to be.
He was willing to sacrifice it for the sake of victory.
Yep.
Well, for the sake of a couple cattle, but
Yes. For his own glory.
yeah.
That might be it too. Right? Aragorn doesn't seem to operate for his own glory. Boromir does. Or at least the glory of his family. Or the glory of his people. Like, that seems to be. And Aragorn cares about his people. And he
But
cares,
he cares
about,
more about what's right.
Yes. And he operates above that. I don't know if temptation's the right word, but he operates above that belief.
Yeah.
Like, most people are here. I'm really concerned about this. And Aragorn is part of the reason he's king is because he's operating at a different level. He sees a bigger picture. He understands.
He understands the root of it.
How things work. He understands the differences of people. He's not bogged down by elves versus dwarves versus the race of man. Like, he gets along with he seems to honor and get along with most everyone.
Yeah. Which they never actually like go out and say it, but I caught it this time we were watching. He also knows Dwarvish, so I used like the first couple times I watched this movie, I was like, dude, he is really tight with the elves. Like, of course he's gonna root for the elves, but then like this last time, like, he knew Dwarvish, he knows the ways of their people. He's very deeply connected to every race.
Yeah,
I didn't catch that until this time.
Right,
it was cool.
So, and he knows that Boromir tried to take the ring, and he does not chastise Boromir for trying to take the ring. At the end, right? He honors Boromir in that.
Boromir's dying at this point. I wouldn't want to yell at him either.
Yes. I mean, there's a level of discipline that would have happened, but he didn't go, you are enemy. You betrayed us.
Right.
No. He restores him in that moment. And again, king, operating, different level. Different level than the pettiness that it can be so easy for all of us to be in down here. And he's like, no, it's not about me. And there's character, honor, and all those things. And so I just think I've so much in the last like couple weeks, I've been thinking about what is wisdom, what is honor from just walking with Jesus. What is that? How is that the same as the world? How is it different? And I think Aragorn's a really cool conversation piece to look at and go, no, that's honorable, and everybody feels it.
Yeah,
you go into like the Lord of the Rings Reddit fan pages and all the stuff. Everyone is like, Aragorn is the best.
Yeah,
everyone likes Aragorn. So even though he makes some hard decisions,
yeah, he does. Yeah,
he makes some hard decisions.
Yeah. So this kind of opens up a new topic that I think is worth talking about. We've kind of landed at it really easy, but I don't want to move on unless okay. We're talking about how Aragorn was just acting at a different level. He's not paying attention to that level that everybody else is at. And to me, it's that he understood the true desire and underneath it all, which is what allowed him to see over the top of it all. And I think that's what led him to being able to have so much self-control around the ring. Because I want to talk about like what the ring does to people. This is probably gonna be a conversation for all the movies, but it starts here. Like, we find out the reason why it was made, what it stands for, what it does, because we get to see everybody interacting with it versus the other two movies. We only see Frodo, Sam, and Gollum like interacting with the ring, but here we get to see how how it scares people, how it tempts people because of what it makes them feel. I actually got the outline for my next chapter done, but in all of the stuff I've been trying to put together and write and read and all this stuff, I think what I've been learning is the importance of recognizing the deepest, truest desires in us and not treating them as something we need to ignore or we need to punish or deny. But we need to investigate. We need to be aware. We need to hold with an open hand. Because I don't think anybody implicitly spoke it, but there's just this undercurrent of theology in a lot of Western church of like everything that your body feels is bad. Or even to the point of like, okay, well, when we get to heaven, we're just going to get new bodies. So take care of your body however you want. Of that, our body is either evil or it doesn't matter. And to first speak to the body as evil, God gave us bodies before we fell. It's not only not evil, and neither are what it feels like. Neither is the things that it wants. Hold with me. But also, it's not separate from us. You know, in early church, there were two big heresies, and I don't remember the names of them. And my theology professors would be really ashamed of me. Not ashamed, disappointed. It's been like 8 years. But there were these two big heresies in the early church. One, that Jesus was really God in a meat puppet, which would deny the fact that Jesus was fully man. And people called that heresy because Jesus is fully God. Jesus is fully man. And then there was the other one that when Jesus came back and resurrected, he actually didn't resurrect into a body, which then would deny the resurrection. But both these two heresies were around the fact that you can't separate Jesus's body from Jesus's spirit. If we're willing to call that heresy, why aren't we willing to call it heresy when we separate that in our own lives? I am both body, I am both spirit. Taking care of one will take care of the other. And so when we have these desires, full circle, landing the plane a little bit. When we have these desires, we can't just ignore them. We have to actually find the root underneath them. So whenever there's this fear of my people are dying, I just need the strongest weapon to fight them. That might not be the actual desire underneath it all. Aragorn saw that. Of course, he saw people dying by orcs. He was fighting most of them, usually at the same time and by himself. Like Boromir and Aragorn both saw the same atrocities that the people at the orcs and of Mordor and Isengard committed. But yet Aragorn was able to rise above and not stoop to their level because he understood underneath the need to fight back. He just wanted people to be safe. He wanted the right thing to happen. There was I haven't spoken about John Mark Comer in a while, but John Mark Comer in his book Live No Lies mentioned that our strongest desires might not be our deepest desires. And as I'm watching everybody interact with the ring, I only see really like 3 healthy responses to it. It's Gandalf, because he just knows. He knows himself, and he's willing to acknowledge, like, if you were to give me this ring, I would use it for good. And there's an interview with Tolkien where he mentioned that if Gandalf got the ring, he'd overthrow Sauron without even breaking a sweat. But then his desire and power turned corrupt by the ring would then bring in a new and darker age, worse than Sauron could ever do. Then there's Aragorn, who just not only knew himself, but knew that underneath it all, he just wanted to make sure that Sauron was defeated and the people of the elves, the dwarves, man were all safe. And then Frodo, mainly because Frodo's desire was just to go back home. Oh man, I've never related this more. You have like a long trip where you're just really away. You could be sleeping in the most comfiest of California king beds, and still when you get back home, man, it feels so nice to be back in your own bed. Like, I get it. When we are facing temptation, when we are facing when we start experiencing the feelings in our bodies, we have to understand, and we have to start asking the tough questions of what's underneath it all.
Mm-hmm.
It's how we deal with it, not by ignoring it, not by being like, yeah, you've said this before, not by being dry drunk.
Yep.
Because as soon as the temptation comes in and it's strong enough, you're gonna cave.
Or you just replace one unhealthy behavior with another.
Yeah, I've had seasons like that.
Yeah.
I mean, dealing with internet struggles then turned into addiction to TV, because I just thought, oh, well, if I just take up every second of my day, then I'm not gonna be tempted.
Yeah.
Well, it just leads you back to the same dang thing.
Yeah. I think that part of Gandalf and Frodo and Aragorn's response in a positive way and making a good choice in respect to the ring also comes with they recognize what the ring is.
Mm-hmm.
And they know that it will not end well.
Mm-hmm.
No route forward through the ring will end where they're hoping it will. And so they all seek to destroy it.
Yeah.
Because they know. They're like, no, Boromir, if we give you this ring, like, yeah, short term, we very well may defeat Sauron, but really the ring only answers to Sauron. So, like, it's not, we'll have power, but it's not, or we might just delay the inevitable. What will still happen? They see it. And those that are tempted more strongly by the ring and that succumb to it get into the, like, short term satisfying the desire, or without looking at the long term. Okay, what fruit is actually going to come from this decision, and I think oftentimes it's so easy for us to get into that place too. We feel a desire very strongly, usually a negative desire when it comes to, like, temptation.
Or an immediate one. Yeah,
we're not really able to identify. I mean, like, or a yearning from a desire. So, example, if you are desiring close relationship, but you don't have it, you're lonely. Okay. What do you desire to satisfy the loneliness that you feel? That isn't actually going to satisfy the loneliness that you feel.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I'm sure we can all think of what we desire when we feel lonely, and we may not even realize, and that's what you're talking about, that we feel lonely. Right? We probably feel that as frustration or anger or sadness or grief, or like all these emotions that are hard. And we don't pause to go, why am I feeling this? Really?
Yeah.
God, why am I? What is this that I'm feeling? We just run to whatever it is that we kind of run to satisfy it. Some things, can be good things that we try to run to. Oftentimes it can be unhealthy things that we run to. But we kind of go for the quick hit. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we don't realize, we're like, oh man, the temptation is so strong. It's like, well, yeah, the temptation is strong because your desire for a good thing is so strong.
Right.
But you're not able to see what that good thing is, or to understand what the good thing to meet that desire is.
Right. It's because we don't connect the deepest thing that we want to what we're actually thinking that we want.
And the ring will not satisfy your desire.
Yes.
And you think it will, but it won't. And in fact, it will lead the opposite way. It will make it worse than before. And it will hurt more people than it did before. And so, to the wisdom to say no to the ring, and the wisdom to remove yourself from the ring is also
right,
because Aragorn lets Frodo leave.
Yeah,
he does tell him, I would go. He's like, I would go. I would fight this temptation all the way to the end.
Dude, if I were
with
Frodo,
you,
I'd just been like,
maybe he would have.
Go.
Maybe he would have. Maybe he wouldn't have.
Right.
We don't know. Right. In that moment, he has the will and to say,
right.
I would have done this.
He would have.
But we don't know, because in that moment, it was tempting for him. So
yeah, you can see it.
Yeah,
you can see it easily.
And so to recognize the temptation of the ring for the others.
Right.
In it, and to say, okay, Frodo, like, I get it.
Yeah.
I would go with you. And that is my desire. That's my posture towards you.
Yeah.
And my service towards you.
Yeah.
And you go because it's time. You're right. The ring has only been in our care for however long it had been in our care. And it's already kind of tearing things apart.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's not going away.
Right. And so there's an interesting conversation there too. I don't necessarily feel, for me, like I have a lot to say on it beyond what I've said. But I think the desire, understanding your desire, understanding your strong desires. Many of us have strong desires that we feel shame about. We go, I shouldn't feel that about whatever.
Right.
And it's okay asking your desires some questions with God.
Yeah.
And say, what is this really? And what do I need in this really from you? That's good. And how do I create boundaries so that when I am feeling, because, we feel the hard things.
Right.
That I make positive decisions that you want me to make, and that I feel, and I am less able to easily access. It's helpful for me to not buy a box of Pop-Tarts from the store because I don't have good control around Pop-Tarts. It's a silly example, but it's true. If Pop-Tarts are on my shelf,
they're gone.
I will eat them because my what do they call that? No fatigue. Having the thing that's there all the time, you have to keep saying no, keep saying no, and just keep saying no. That's called no fatigue, right? And eventually, we get worn down. We get in a place where we're really tired, frustrated, whatever. We feel the hard, and then all of a sudden, it's so much easier, to grab that Pop-Tart. Yeah. Unless there's no Pop-Tarts there to grab.
Right.
And I have to get in my car and drive to Dillon's and buy Pop-Tarts and come back, and that requires a lot more energy. Yeah. And when I'm tired, then I don't want to do it. So it's just kind of, everyone understands what I'm talking about, but you create that boundary, and that's a good boundary.
Yes.
For me.
Well, because in everything that I was saying, I wasn't trying to say like every single desire we feel is good. Barton talks about this a little bit in her book Sacred Rhythms. Before she talks about any of the spiritual disciplines, she talks about how desire and longing are actually the start of the spiritual journey. Mm-hmm. And not that every desire and longing is good, but that if we, like Pandora's box, leave it closed, they're still there. Mm-hmm. So even just recognizing like, okay, I know I can't be around Pop-Tarts. For me right now, I can't be around carbs. I absolutely still made our homemade Chex Mix, party mix thing that I make every Christmas. But
I've heard your confession.
Yeah, it's
fine.
No,
I'm just kidding.
But I loved that she compared it to Pandora's box. Because it's still all there. It's still right underneath the surface. Mm-hmm. And that by not actually sorting through, okay, this, because she compared it to, there are going to be some desires and longings in us that actually work against our spiritual development, our spiritual formation. But if we do not recognize them, they're still there and they're still working against us. If we name them and bring them out into the light, then we get to see, first of all, what's underneath all of this. Is it from God? And if it's not, you do what you can to get rid of it. Yeah. And if it is, you can actually be more aware of God's presence in your body because we are the temple of the Holy Spirit. Yeah. The Holy Spirit is inside of us. We don't have to walk around trying to find places where we don't need to go looking for burning bushes because we are the host of the Holy Spirit.
Yes.
By naming the desires that are not from Him, we actually start recognizing what desires are from Him.
Yep.
So, not to put Pop-Tarts in the kitchen.
Yeah.
I also you also can know if you're experiencing, I loved your example of I just really want to be in a relationship. I feel really lonely. Of there's wisdom in knowing, okay, well, I just want connection. So if I just chase after the first relationship that I see, I'm going to end up still feeling just as lonely as I was before.
Yes.
Man, I've been there. I've had all of my relationships before my marriage were super toxic.
Yeah.
But it's because I was looking for comfort and I was looking for connection. So I sought out people that I thought would immediately fill that. But I didn't know that that's what I was looking for. Mm-hmm. But having the wisdom of, okay, I feel like I want this. You've mentioned the 7 whys before. Mm-hmm. Okay,
yep.
Why do I want this?
Why. Yep.
Well, I just want to have someone special in my life. Why Well, it's because I feel like I need that. Why? And like getting down to the base, you actually recognize, oh, well, this longing to be in connection and relationship with someone, that's not bad. Yeah. But the way that I'm going about it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that every desire, the root of every desire is good.
Yeah.
And maybe we're saying the same thing.
We probably are.
Yeah, like desiring pornography, not good.
No.
The why question, why are you desiring that? Dig deep. That desire is a good desire.
Yeah.
And it's something we were made to desire. Mm-hmm. Right.
Right. Well, it's
like if we just chase that example in my own life, like, okay, I desire pornography. Okay. Why? Well, cause I'm angry, lonely, insert negative emotion there. Okay. Why? It's like, well, okay. So we do the lonely one cause I'm feeling lonely. Okay. Why do you feel lonely? Well, I don't feel like I'm like, you said connection. I don't feel like I'm connecting people. I don't feel like people know me. Okay, so what's that desire there? Is to know people deeply and to be known deeply.
Yeah.
Good desires, Connor. Bingo.
Wrong application.
That's right. It is going, okay, now it's why do I feel like, am I lacking these things? And if I am, okay, how do I, God, give me the wisdom to understand how, you know what I need. You have the power to give me what I need. Here's what I need.
Yeah.
What do I need to do? Like, what are you going to do? What do I need to do? Good questions. Or if I do have these things, why do I feel like I'm lacking them?
Ooh, that's,
And then you can,
yeah.
All of this though is so difficult to do
in the moment.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And that's where the very deep spiritual prayer of help comes in. Let me repeat that for you. So you write this down. Everyone get your pencil out. Ready? Help. Okay.
HALP.
HALP exclamation point, all caps. To God. Help. Okay. To lead you to feel the things. And it's going to take that. You're not going to be like 5 minutes. Be like, unless God just gives you insight, which is also a possibility. Right. But usually there's a reason we need counseling and we need counselors and we need people to process with and we need time to process, is because this is hard work. It's hard work and it requires energy. Mm-hmm. And no fatigue is real.
Absolutely.
And so what we recognize in our life, when we recognize the temptation of the ring, to have the wisdom in the moment to set up boundaries. Mm-hmm. Right? So that you don't succumb to the temptation of the ring. But when you are not in direct temptation of the ring, to process through.
Yeah.
What is this thing?
Yeah.
And to process through it. Yeah. With the Lord and with what he's asking you to do.
Yeah. Well, it's we've both been saying it. It's because every desire deep down is actually good. The biggest realization to me is that, so the example of pornography. I could easily just start demonizing the desire to pornography. But here's the thing. The devil don't create anything. He can only corrupt. That's the big difference here between like the ring and like real life. Yeah. Is the ring was created by the evil one. But even then, it only, like, the power of the ring, I think it says this in the books. It doesn't really mention it. Like, it just brings out, it takes your greatest, like, it takes who you are, everything, all your greatest strengths and weaknesses, and just amplifies it and corrupts it. That's what the devil does to what is underneath us, our greatest desires, our greatest God-given desires. So I take this, so he'll whisper lies into my ear so this desire for connection and comfort and community, and corrupts it to where, well, I don't want to, I don't want to actually sacrifice or commit to anything, so I'm just going to go for something super simple. Like, the devil can't create anything. So when we just take this thing like, oh, like pornography, that's just the devil. So this desire to go look at it, that's just bad. Can never interact with it. Can't ask the questions. Can't figure out what's underneath because the devil made it. No, he didn't. Yeah. There's something underneath. There's something that is given to us by God.
Yeah. And the role of understanding our thoughts and the wisdom of that is really important, and we don't like to think about it.
It's hard.
Oh, yeah. It's hard. I thought about in Harry Potter, this book I've been reading, book 5.
It'll take you a while.
I just finished it. Took me a long time. It's a good book. I was consistent in reading it. It still took me a long time. The end of the book, I'm not going to explain the scene, but essentially someone had some wounds from a magical thing that it was this brain that could wrap itself around someone and like kind of like hurt them in that way. And this character is healing from this wound, and all the other characters had other injuries and they were pretty much healed, but this person was taking the longest to heal. And this line in here that just like, I was walking around listening to this on audiobook, and it was just like, God was like, dong! and the line was something to the effect of, thoughts often create deeper wounds and take longer to heal.
Oh, dip.
And I was like, oh my gosh. I don't know if you wrote that deep on purpose or not, but you better preach.
You're going to just turn into the Harry Potter preacher, aren't
you? Apparently. And it's interesting. We live in a world that is so distracted. And we are so distracted. We have distractions everywhere. Maybe the most distracted humanity has ever been. Maybe not. Maybe that's just the moment, but the moment speaking, the bias of the moment. But we live with noise all around us. That is statistically true, measurably true.
Yeah.
This is the noisiest.
The average American sees anywhere between 3,000 to 5,000 ads every day.
And what our ears are hearing and what our eyes are seeing statistically are the most overstimulating that humanity has ever been. At least artificially overstimulated, right? And so I'll say it. We can't fathom, understand, unpack the patterns of our mind and our patterns of thinking when we are constantly bombarded by external,
when we're distracted,
stimulation. And I think there's a unique opportunity in that for Christians to come along and to say, let me invite you into stillness and silence. And to the one who, when everything else fades away, is still there.
Yeah.
And it's not that God becomes more present,
but we're more aware of them.
As the other things peel away, we start to become aware of the one who's always there.
Yeah.
And to unpack with him the depths of our mind's beliefs and understand those things that our brains, in good ways or in good design, take patterns and ways of doing things because it just goes on autopilot, and that helps us not be overwhelmed by the decision to breathe and the decision to think this and the decision to think, and then our brain starts to make sense of the world for us, which is good as it's distorted. We talk about distortion. Our patterns of thinking, our ways of believing, all those things are twisted a little bit or a lot of it. And the only one who can untwist those is not ourselves. We think, okay, and this is what like meditation is without the Spirit. Meditation is I'm going to see my mind, and I'm going to teach myself new ways of thinking that will bring me life. Okay. Meditation with the Spirit, with Jesus, either on the Word or just in the power of the Spirit. Okay. Word of God, either Bible or Word of God, Jesus. Yes. And goes, here
Yeah.
is my mind. Here's my heart. Here it is.
Yeah.
Help me align my heart with your heart. Align my thoughts with your thoughts. I'm going to meditate on your word day and night because it's going to renew my mind.
Yeah.
I'm going to meditate on all your ways because it's going to renew my mind. And by renew my mind, it literally means like I am changing. My mind is changing. You are changing my mind.
Yeah.
I am conforming my will, my ways to your will and your ways through the power of your spirit. Like you are doing this. You're unpacking it. Help me understand. Search me, oh God, know my heart. Test me, know my anxious thoughts. See if there's any way, any offensive way in me, and how's that end? And lead me in the way everlasting.
Yeah.
Not so I can figure it out and fix myself.
Right. Well, that like our role in spiritual formation is literally to hold ourselves to the fire so that the Holy Spirit can do the transformation. It's not so that we can fix the things in us. That's Americanized spirituality.
Yeah.
It's how do I like this fire is hot. It hurts. There's blemishes in the gold that is my faith, right? 1 Peter. What do I need to do to make sure I stay in the flames?
Yeah.
And I find it really ironic. There's a new trend on social media that I'm actually really loving, but I hate what it's called. It's called raw dogging.
Oh no.
But there's a trend on social media where people will set up a timer on their iPad, whatever, and just film themselves raw dogging life for 1 hour, no distractions, no nothing. They're trying to get their attention back. Have you seen this?
No.
I think that's what it's called. Because that's what the caption said, like what the text will say on the post. The trend might be called something else, but they're saying I'm raw dogging for 1 hour.
Okay. Right on.
Like something like that.
Yeah.
Something like, please do not go look it up. If you happen to see it, know that that's what it is. But like, what do we need to do to actually just hold ourselves in the fire in the fire as the Holy Spirit fans the flame?
Oh, dude. I do this thing sometimes when I'm feeling. What am I feeling when I do this? I feel resistant to God. I don't know if anybody else can relate to this. I hope you can. I mean, I don't hope you can, but I think you can. You know what I'm saying.
I hope you're always resistant to God.
It's that feeling when you go, okay, I want to conform my will to Jesus, and I don't want to conform my will to Jesus. Yeah, okay, good. Glad we're on the same page. So, a practice that I don't know if I pick this up or I just do it. I think I got. Okay, I'm not going to say all that. It's called, for me, 5 minutes of radical submission. Where I'd set a timer. I literally would set a timer on my phone, and I'll pray, and I'll go, God, for these next 5 minutes, I'm going to not resist. And once that 5 minutes is done, we'll see what happens.
Right.
But for this 5 minutes, tell me whatever you want to tell me. I'm submitting to you, and you understand where I'm at. You understand. I know, I know you're good, and I know all these things. I don't feel it right now. I feel very conflicted, all this. 5 minutes. And it's kind of like similar deal to the hour.
Dude,
and
yeah.
That practice has been very good and tremendously terrifying for me as a confession. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. I'm starting to learn what that resistance feels like as somebody who used to have a really good practice of silence and then lost it.
Yeah.
I'm getting back to a place where, because I don't think I'm at the place yet where I can set a timer for like 5 minutes and say I'm done. But I'm noticing whenever I get tired of a task or whatever, something I'm doing, like, honestly, most times for me, it's that I've clicked next episode too many times and I can feel the resistance in my brain of saying, dear Lord, we need something else, but I don't know what else to do. Before, I would just start walking around, just grabbing onto the next thing I could possibly think of. And now I'm learning to just like, wait. Just see. It's okay to walk around and just see what grabs my attention, but it's okay not to move from one thing to the next. So I don't know if I'm at the timer place yet, but just that noticing. And honestly, for most of the time in my life right now, it just involves anxiously pacing around the house of looking around like, okay, well, I'm tired of watching New Girl. So should I play a game? Should I read a book? Should I just walking around and just sitting in the tension of, I feel like I need something, but I know I don't.
Yeah. And I think when we get quiet like that and still and we let all the other distractions fade away, one, that can be a very anxious experience.
Oh, it's terrifying.
And that's probably the main reason why we don't do it. It's because there's anxiety there. But as we think about desires, and we think about the root of desires that are good, and we look at the anxiety in our life, invite the Lord into that space, say, what am I anxious about here? And is it true, or is it a lie from the ring / the devil?
Woo!
Right? And go,
That's good.
yeah, like if I turn the TV off, if I turn off, for me it's Spotify, like if I turn off Spotify and music and podcasts and just melt that away, and I just sit for 10 minutes with the Lord. Okay, why is that? What am I anxious about in that? And what will come to the surface in that? And to enter into that space courageously is also the work of the spiritual life, right? Is peel it away, enter into that space. Because oftentimes the place God's inviting us to go is straight through our fear. Like wherever you're experiencing anxiety, fear in your life, there's a very strong chance that the devil is trying to use that to keep you from going there with God. And God's going, no, I just step through it with me and take that step out of the Shire. Ooh. Step out of the Shire.
I think you
bear
just
the
named this
ring.
episode.
Bear the ring, right? Step out of the Shire, bear that fear, and come to me with it, and let's go on a journey together so we can destroy that fear.
Let's simply walk into Mordor.
Simply walk into Mordor. And you know what? The nice part about walking with God is the promise of we will soar high on wings like eagles.
I mean, they actually do.
They don't. It would have been a lot easier if they could have, though.
I mean, they do on the way back.
Exactly.
I think so. There's an interview. Not a video because it was a long time ago. But there's an interview with Tolkien where somebody like in the crowd asked him, and like, why didn't the eagles just fly them to Mordor? And he started like babbling like, oh well, it's because and I want you to hear this very, very clearly. Like this was a specific reason. Shut up.
Yeah. Not much of a plot there. If they could just fly into. One does not simply just fly into Mordor. No, but the reality of it's not on our strength. And that is good. We may look at like Frodo's journey and go, I'm not strong enough for that.
Neither was he.
Yeah. And as we look at specifically walking with the Spirit is to go, it's not on us. Like it's not on our power to overcome, but it is on our power to take a step of obedience.
Yeah.
And to step out the door. And, to just take the moment of courage. The 30 seconds of courage. That's why I like to set the timer. Because it's like, okay, I can give, sometimes not even 5 minutes. I'm like, you know what I can give today? 2 minutes. I feel like I have 2 minutes and that's all I got to give. And God's like, come on, let's do it. Like
He just wants you to give him something.
And sometimes 2 minutes turns into 10 minutes, turns into 15 minutes. Sometimes 2 minutes is just 2 minutes.
Sometimes 2 minutes is 30 seconds.
Yeah. And to just go, but I'm taking what I can give, I'm going to give.
Yeah.
And when we peel that stuff away and we step into those hard spaces of understanding our desires, like we start to hear the knocking of Jesus. I thought about this earlier when we were talking about there's no separation of church and state, or there's no separation of sacred and secular. Jesus says that the kingdom of God Wait, if you have faith as small as a mustard seed. I'm mixing my metaphors.
Yes.
What is it? What's
I don't know what you're actually
the mustard seed? What is the
You
scripture
can say
for
to
that?
this mountain, move into
Faith
the sea.
as small as a mustard seed.
Yeah.
Does he compare the mustard seed to the kingdom of God?
No.
What does he compare
He
to?
said
the
if
kingdom
you
of God?
have faith as the size of a mustard seed, you can say to this mountain to fall into the sea
Okay.
or something like that.
Well, the analogy that I'm going with here.
This is the Connor translation.
Yeah, something like that. Is that a mustard seed bears a plant that is invasive.
Oh,
The mustard plant is invasive.
like it takes over other plants.
Everything. It sprouts and then it just goes everywhere. And Jesus in your life wants to go everywhere. Sometimes I think we think of like, okay, here's what you talked about. This is my faith life. Here's my non-faith life. Doesn't exist. That's not a thing. Here's your life, period. And you're like, you know what, Jesus, I'll give you a bedroom and a bathroom in my house. Right? You come in a living room, it's a group space. But like my room,
I'll keep the lamp on the mantle.
Like, or it's like we're showing Jesus around our house. And we're like, here's my living room. I cleaned up before you came. Here's my kitchen. Here's my dining room. Here's my, bedroom. Oh yeah, and open the door to your bedroom. You're like, here's my bedroom. God's like, well, what's in that room? It's like, no. That's my closet. You don't want, it's a mess in there. You're just like, actually, that's why I came into this house is to, I want to see that. I want to like work through that with you. You're like, no, that's where I stuff all my.
Like I came here to help you clean it.
I'm here to host you in my house, like, but I don't want you to see the mess.
That's so funny because we treat it as Jesus, I'm here to show you my house, but really he's the one holding the deed.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, I know.
Let me show you to your house.
He's like, I know what's in there. Will you go through it with me?
Yep.
I already know what's in there. It's like, no, you don't want to see that. I don't want to show you that. Well, why not? Well, if you saw that,
Why?
If you saw that, then I don't think you'd love me anymore. You wouldn't. You'd realize I'm a fraud, a mess up, a screw up, not worthy. You'd realize. Blah, 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 blah,
Sorry, what was that?
blah, blah.
Little
That right there.
One more time.
That's the translation. That's the spirit translation.
We're groaning too deep.
That's
forwards.
right.
Oh man.
Or we think, okay, there's this mustard plant that is Jesus in my life. And here's my garden in the mustard plant. And we keep trying to trim the mustard plant. And that's like, Jesus just wants to like go into the whole garden. And we're like, no, here, just stay in this corner. No. And we keep trying to trim Jesus back.
So Jesus is not a bonsai tree.
Maybe.
about?
The little tiny ones?
Yeah,
or
those
what?
like little tiny
That
like
you
Japanese
tip-
culture ones that you shape into whatever shape you want.
He is not, but we try to do that. We try to do that.
He's not a landscaping plant. You're not something you put in your front
You're
yard.
not the gardener, he is.
Yep.
So he's like, I will be everywhere. Everything. The kingdom of God is going everywhere. To the far reaches of the earth and to the far depths of your soul. It is going. So I think that as we continue to work through these movies, for me, I will be tracking Frodo along the way and looking at this journey he's on and tying in. One, I will be comparing Moses very much, but also just looking at my own life and seeing what God has to show me through that. And I'm excited for the journey. I'm excited to just watch Frodo go through the journey instead of have to do the journey for Frodo.
Yep.
But also I'm excited to see where and maybe, this is an invitation for you to see what parallels are there to my journey right now with where I'm at in life and where I'm at with God. Am I in the Shire? Am I leaving the Shire? Am I through my first testing of fire
Yeah.
before Rivendell? Where am I at on this journey?
Yeah.
Am I in the middle? Am I towards the end? Have I been going a long time and the weight is crushing me, which we'll find in future movies? I think there's a cool opportunity in the spirit to just see.
It's good.
So, anything
That's
else?
good. I don't have anything else.
I'm out of coffee.
Oh, I ran out of coffee about a quarter of the way through. It's cold in here.
A little chilly.
For those who have never been inside my house, my HVAC system sounds like a jet plane taking off.
It's very loud.
And so, for your benefit, we have to turn off the heater before every recording.
But that's why I wore my hat that's got the ear flaps on it.
Oh my gosh, full
Hold on.
circle.
Pull it down.
You look like Clark Griswold.
Thank you. Hallelujah.
Oh man. That's good.
Well, thanks for picking the Lord of the Rings.
Before Star Wars. I'm so ashamed.
And we'll figure out, no shame, we'll figure out why
As we keep going.
as we keep
Or
going.
maybe you'll figure out why and you can tell us.
So, Christmas is coming. Happy Thursday. It's a week away. If you haven't bought your presents yet, here's your reminder.
Crap.
Go buy some Christmas presents. Or get on Amazon and buy some Christmas presents. This is your 1 week warning. You're welcome, America. Because there's a weekend in between now and Christmas, and then there's Christmas, and if you order 2 days before Christmas, then
It's going to come in February.
that's right. It's probably not making it for. So here's your 7-day warning. You're welcome. Go buy something for some people that you love. Maybe someone you don't love, and that's okay. It'll be good practice to love your neighbor.
I'm going to practice getting a gift for someone I don't love, and I'm going to get a gift for you.
And I'm rambling, but remember this: that he who began a good work in you will carry you on to completion till the day of Christ Jesus.
Amen.
And remember that Jesus says, for those of you who belong to him, he looks at the accuser and says, "You shall not pass," because this person belongs to me. Hallelujah.
Goodbye.
What a dismount. Nailed it.